Hi, this is demo 7 using the Wood Lathe. This is a Wood Lathe. It has certain safety features on it. This frame, metal frame, is one which actually protects you, and it's quite essential that you have that there while you're actually in the process of turning wood, and that is what is called turning wood. Now, the process of turning wood is about turning blocks of wood, could be square section wood like the end of that, into shapes like that. Shapes like that. Quite a nice shape, intricate shape. Shapes like that. Shapes like this. So quite good for creating shapes that have symmetry. It can also cut, and you can also use materials like styrofoam. This is styrofoam. You can turn styrofoam. That's the foam that we have in the workshop. As well as styrofoam, you could also use plaster. You can turn plaster using exactly the same machinery. So we have a guard here. In order to turn, you would need to use tools, which I'll demonstrate how to use them a little later. These are called paring chisels. This is called a gouge, and you have these in various sizes. This is a thinner gouge, and I'll demonstrate how you would use those later. Now, what I'd like to do is show you how you get to a stage where you have your wood prepared, and you need to use the bandsaw to prepare your wood to a state where it is just a block of wood with a neck attached to the end, so that that enables it to fit into the chuck on the wood lathe. Okay. So to turn, you need to start off with a block of wood, and what you'll need to do with this wood is square it off. That is, if you look at the end, one end, and you make sure that end is square and it has a certain length. It could be square, it could be, doesn't have to be as long as big as a cube. It could be smaller than a cube, it could be longer than a cube. Okay. What is important is that you have this section, what we call a cross section, squared off. Right? So you need to make sure that's squared off by cutting the accurate size, so making sure that that is a particular size. That's 10 centimeters. That would be 10 centimeters. And once you've done that, you do need to find the center. And you'll do that by using a ruler. Going from opposing corners, finding the center. Okay. The next stage would be for you to cut the neck, and that's the neck that's already been cut. That's just a question of scribing in and cutting, using the bandsaw to cut the sections off, and then taking them out. So you cut this way, this way, this way, and then you'd start cutting that way in order to create your shoulder. And that's your shoulder. Now you need your shoulder because your shoulder is going to go into the chuck in the wood lathe. Okay? The chuck that's on the wood lathe. Once you've got to this stage, you need to soften the sides a bit by turning this into octagonal shape. So you could call it an octagonal prism. So these edges will be cut preferably at 45 degrees. And I'll show you how to do that now. Turning on the wood lathe. This is your wood lathe. It's also known as a wood turning machine. Right, and let me just point out the different parts of it. The motor is here. Your headstock, so probably where the belt is. So there is an indicator here that tells you how fast the chuck is turning, or the motor is moving, how many revolutions are actually created per minute. You have your on and off button here. You have your speed indicator here. Okay, you can actually also reverse it. Reverse switch is this one here, so that which means this is going revolving. When it's plus, it's revolving forward, and when it's minus, it's revolving backwards. Okay, right. Along with this head here, we also have a chuck. The chuck is where you have the grip or the teeth for your piece, the element that you're about to turn. Okay, that's my element. Along with that, you have a tool rest. I've spoken about the tools before, so I'll be using these tools, resting it against this tool rest in order to turn my piece of wood. The guard I've spoken about before. The guard can be lifted up If it causes an obstruction when you're trying to remove something, then lift it up, put it back, and I'll keep it back there while I put the piece of wood into the chuck. This is your chuck, and there are your teeth. You have a key that releases the teeth, opens them out, and also tightens it, obviously. So what I'll do, I'll put my piece in. Along with your tool rest, you also have a tailstock. Your tailstock needs to be, the point of it needs to be in line with the marks that you've indicated as the centre of the wood. Okay. So if I can just line that up, whilst loosely attaching it to the chuck teeth. Move this out of the way. Lock it in two places. You can lock the barrel, and you can also lock the body of the tailstock, and also wind it in, lock it in, wind it in to the point, the centre point of your wood. Lock it in all places, making sure that it can still move around. Once you've locked your tailstock, your wheel, and the body, and also the barrel of the tailstock, tighten the teeth on the shoulder. So you should now have that bit of wood fairly securely fixed in place. Now, you should be at a stage now where you're just about ready to turn. And what you'll need to do then is, remember, move your guard over your piece. And you can start. So before you start, you need to make sure that all your tools are sharpened, and if they are not sharp, then speak to me, lecturer, or a technician to help you sharpen it. I might do a demonstration later on how to use the grinder, and that's how you would sharpen these tools. That goes with the gouge, which is what this is, as well as the chisels, the turning chisels, pairing chisels. Here, they all need to be sharp. So you'll be using the wood lathe, and in order to make your shape, what you will need to do is make a profile of your design. Okay, and you normally do that out of card. You can do a negative, but this is a positive shape. So instead of making the actual shape, you could actually do the surround the shape. That gives you a sense of what the negative side, the shape around it might look like. Okay, so then you need to fix this somehow to an area that you can see it and use it as a guide when it comes to you cutting your shape. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. We're going to start turning as soon as I put this on. quite close.